What's up, guys?
How's it going?
So in this video, we're going to talk about what not to do if you want to be wealthy. That's right. So if you're curious about how we've manifested such an amazing life full of abundance and wealth in such a short amount of time, watch this video because we're going to share with you some of our best tips for what not to do if you want to be wealthy.
Because we've done it and it didn't work, and we don't want you to make that mistake.
So before we get started, please go ahead and hit subscribe and turn on notifications for our videos so that you know every time we drop some fresh new wisdom your way. You can check YouTube and you can see everything that we post in real time.
One of the best ways to increase your wealth mindset, your money mindset, your manifestation mindset is to change your thoughts. And if your thoughts are in a habit or a momentum of negativity or just in a groove of lack, scarcity mentality, one of the easiest ways to change your thoughts is just to listen to people's thoughts that are in a positive place, that are in a momentum of abundance. And the best way to do that is subscribe and watch these videos.
Exactly.
So, without further ado, we're going to talk to you about what not to do if you want to be wealthy. What's number one?
Well, number one thing not to do if you want to be wealthy is judging other wealthy people.
Ooh.
How many of you out there catch yourself every time you see a nice sports car, like every time you see a Tesla drive by going, oh, those rich a-holes, they must be evil capitalist pigs if they have a Tesla, and so therefore they're bad people.
Or you say things like, that's your privilege talking. That's not spiritual. And you just judge people with money without even ever understanding what it took to get there, what their experience is like,
or what they're doing with their money. Oh yeah. We had so many stories about people with money before we had money because it was easier to judge other people with money than to admit that we actually wanted to also have money. You know, we were in the queer community in Chicago, you know, however many years ago that was now, and that was our community. And within that community, you know, as a queer person, especially as a queer woman, there is a lot of lack mentality. There's a lot of scarcity, and it's just normal to not really make as much money as, say, like a straight man, for instance, right? So it just became the norm.
Yeah, I can actually say from experience, there's a lot of victim mentality as well. And what I mean is like seeing yourself through the identity of, I'm queer, I'm not privileged, I wasn't born into a family that took care of me, I got kicked out of my house, all kinds of things that would put you at a disadvantage.
Right.
So using that disadvantage as a reason that you can't actually have what others have, when what that actually does is it puts you at a disadvantage because you don't see yourself as a powerful creator, you don't see yourself as somebody who can make a lot of money, and then you start judging those that have more than you.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, we used to be a lesbian couple because Kit used to be a woman. And so when we talk about being in the
nice,
lesbian community, that's what we're talking about, in case you're like, huh? So yeah, surprise! If you don't know that already, there you go. So, you know, basically, you know, that became our programming because we were in that community for so long, and those were the people we surrounded ourselves with, that became our programming. It became our automatic thinking, that automatically anybody who had money was a capitalist pig and wasn't doing anything good with it, and so therefore you judge them as being bad people. When really, you know, I think what most of us really wanted back then was like, we wanted to own a Subaru. We wanted to be able to take vacations to places that were beautiful. You know, we wanted international travel. We wanted things that required money to have, and yet we judged people with money. And so when that really began to shift for me was when we started meeting people who had a lot of money, but they were doing really amazing things with that money. And not only that, but they were people who were born without privilege. You know, a lot of them were like brown women first, you know, like their parents were immigrants to this country, you know, so they were first generation Americans.
They were immigrants, actually.
Or they were, you know, so like we met a lot of people who, you know, had similar backgrounds as ours, maybe not necessarily queer, but, you know, same stories around privilege, but they had created wealth for themselves. And not only that, they were super generous with their wealth, and they were doing really, really amazing, wonderful, kind things with that wealth. They were helping those who really needed it. And what I realized at the time was, oh, you know what? Actually, if we make money, then not only will there be enough to go around for us and we won't have to worry or struggle with our bills anymore, but we will actually be able to overflow that abundance and help people who really, really need it. And how cool would that be?
Yeah.
Instead of just judging people who have it, we can not only have it, but have so much that there's more than enough to go around. How cool would that be?
And it's not our job to judge others. It's only our job to measure our own success and our own standards of what we're doing with our wealth and our time.
Exactly.
So that's one of the number one blockers of wealth creation is judging others.
Mm-hmm.
What will happen when you judge others in your mind is if you subconsciously believe that others who have money are bad and you judge them, your subconscious mind will not allow you to have money because of that judgment. That judgment is a block.
Automatically repelling it.
Yep.
Yeah. Which brings us to our next thing, which is number 2, stop downplaying your dreams.
Oh, this one is big.
Yeah, it's like I'm saying, like back when we were, little baby lesbians in Chicago, what most of us really wanted was like to own our own Subaru, to go to Italy on vacation, to to do things that required money to do. But because we judged people who had money so much, we pretended like we didn't actually want the things that we really wanted. Or like, oh my gosh, God forbid, own a home. Right? Like that seemed so out of reach back then. Owning a home seemed like something like so unrealistic for anybody that we knew, including us.
Yeah.
That it was like, okay, all right, owning a home, yeah, that's like the big dream. That might never happen.
So what I see a lot of people do is instead of saying, I want a really big house with lots of space and all of this stuff, they say,
I want a tiny house.
I want a tiny house. I want to live a simple life.
Not to judge anybody, you guys, that want tiny homes, because we do love a tiny home. But
yeah, but I can grow all of my food. Yeah. I can,
I live in an RV.
I don't need a lot of money to be happy. And what happens is, if there is a desire in you to actually have that, but you are squelching it because you don't think that you can actually have all that you want, not only will you not be successful in your tiny dream, the universe will kind of boot you from having that because there's something so much bigger aligned for you and coming for you. You just have to line up with the belief that you can have it.
Yeah.
And dreaming small means not believing in dreams, not believing you can really have what you want. And a collapse of faith is a collapse of manifestation energy.
Yeah. So the point of that story is let yourself dream big. Allow yourself to want the things that you really, truly want at the core of your being. Just allow yourself to want them.
Yeah.
And not only that, visualize yourself as already having them and the emotions that you'll feel when you get to that place in your life, because nothing is out of reach. Okay, yeah. Nothing is out of reach. Nothing is off limits, and the universe will provide it for you if you allow yourself to actually have that dream and you stop downplaying your dreams.
And all of the really big, famous people who are super wealthy, really well known, Lady Gaga, Jim Carrey, Oprah Winfrey.
I mean,
so many. This is real for them too. They know this. They believe this. They practice this. There's public record of them talking about dreaming big all the time because it works.
Exactly.
As long as you don't give up on your dreams.
Yeah. And so that brings us to our third thing not to do if you want to be wealthy, which is stop being desperate.
Ooh.
Don't be desperate. We've talked about this before, desperation versus manifestation. If you come, think about it like in the world of dating. Have you ever, for those of us who are old enough to remember what it was like to go out to the bars and try to date somebody in person, face to face, or if you are on dating apps and you get messages in your inbox, from people who have that desperate energy, that desperate vibe, what does that feel like to you to be approached by someone who's like, please come out with me, please come out with me, I really want you. Okay. Right? So how does it feel to be approached by somebody for a date who's coming at you with that desperate energy? It feels like, get away from me. And so if you're coming after money that way and saying, I need you, I'll die without you, what do you think money is gonna do?
Not only that, but if you're willing to sacrifice your own worth, your own value for a quick buck, That's literally putting out into the world, I'm not worthy, I don't believe in my worth, I don't believe anything can happen for me.
So I'm talking to you, all you multitasking, jack of all trade entrepreneurs that have like 10 side jobs at one time because you don't think that you can actually make the money you want to make doing the thing you love to do. That's desperate energy. So
I'm talking to all of you coaches who will give 100 deals on your coaching instead of just standing in your worth and believing that somebody is ready and willing and excited to pay your full price.
Absolutely, yeah, because there are people out there who are not only ready and willing to pay that full price, but they would actually kind of turn you down if your prices were too low because they would suspect that there's something wrong with your coaching because you're not charging enough. So anyway, so those are the three things. So 3 things. Number 1, stop judging people who have money.
Number 2, stop downplaying your dreams.
Yeah. And number 3, stop being desperate.
Ooh, that's the best one. Stop being desperate.
So go ahead, apply those 3 little tips today. See how they work out. Come back and leave us a comment and let us know what shifts for you. We want to know. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.
You know what? I really want to know, which one do you need to quit? You tell me, is it number 1, number 2, or number 3? Give me a number 1, number 2, and number 3 in the comments. And when you give us a comment on which one you want to quit, we can start making you more content on how to do that.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.